Orbiting a dim, crimson star in the desolate reaches of the galactic core was Blackreach Detention Facility, the most secure prison in the known galaxy. It wasn't designed to hold common criminals. No, Blackreach was a fortress built to contain Deathworlder's beings from planets so hostile that survival itself was a daily battle. The warden, T. Valra, a tall and proud avian from the serene and peaceful planet Arisia, fluttered her feathers nervously. She stared at the holographic report on her desk. "Inmate 237 has incapacitated another guard team," she muttered. Her talons drummed against the desk as she scrolled through the gruesome details. Graithos, her Solivian second-in-command, stood nearby. His hulking, scaly frame was imposing, but even he had a tinge of unease in his eyes. "The injuries are severe. We've lost 3 guards this month. The others are demanding hazard pay or transfers." Talra sighed. "We've upgraded the containment fields. We've issued the guards exosuits. Nothing works." The silence stretched as she stared out of her window at the massive prison structure floating in the void. Then, a notification blinked on her screen. It was from the Galactic Alliance's Prison Oversight Committee. Mandatory staffing adjustment, human contingent assignment. Her feathers fluffed involuntarily. Humans! The galaxy's most perplexing species. Since their introduction to interstellar society, humans had been regarded as something of an anomaly. Born on Earth, a Category 12 death world, they were the only known species to survive and even thrive in conditions that would kill others. She frowned. Humans as guards? They're untested in a facility like this. Graithos chuckled grimly. "Warden, at this point, we've tried everything else. Perhaps it's time to see if the rumors are true." Reluctantly, she approved the request. Weeks later, a heavy transport shuttle docked at Blackreach. Warden T. Valra and her senior staff assembled in the hangar bay, watching the humans disembark. Captain David Cross led the contingent. His uniform was plain, but his presence was commanding. Broad-shouldered, with sharp, calculating eyes, he carried himself with a quiet confidence. Behind him came his team, an eclectic mix of men and women. They were of various builds, heights, and skin tones, but they all shared a similar air of calm readiness. "Warden T. Valra," Cross said, offering a handshake. Della eyed the gesture warily before clasping his hand with her talon. His grip was firm but not aggressive. "Welcome to Blackreach," she said. "I hope you understand the magnitude of the challenge you're taking on." Cross glanced around at the facility. "We've read the reports. It'll be interesting." "Interesting?" Graithos rumbled, his voice dripping with skepticism. "Humans have a saying," Cross replied. "The bigger the challenge, the sweeter the victory." Telra exchanged a look with Graithos. The humans were confident, perhaps too confident. The first few days were uneventful. The humans patrolled the cell blocks, observing the inmates, learning their habits. They were methodical, speaking little but noticing everything. Inmate 237, the massive Travalkian known for his violent outbursts, took particular interest in the new guards. From behind his reinforced energy barrier, he snarled at them, testing their reactions. One guard, a petite human woman named Sergeant Elena Torres, stopped in front of his cell. She stared at him calmly, arms crossed. The Travalkian slammed his fists against the barrier, snarling. "You think you're brave, little one?" Elena tilted her head, unimpressed. "I think you're loud. Have you considered using your indoor voice?" The inmates nearby erupted in laughter, and the Travalkian growled, retreating to the back of his cell. The real test came a week later. Inmate 237 refused to return to his cell after recreation time. Standing at nearly 3 meters tall, his 4 muscular arms were capable of crushing bones with ease. The non-human guards had failed to subdue him in the past, but this time Captain Cross decided to handle it himself. The scene played out in the recreation yard, where dozens of inmates watched with bated breath. Cross walked in alone. No exosuit. No weapons. 237 sneered. "You're either very brave or very stupid." "Why not both?" Cross said casually. 237 lunged, his claws flashing. But in a blur of movement, Cross sidestepped, grabbing one of the Travalkian's arms and twisting it behind his back. The massive inmate howled in pain as Cross forced him to the ground. The yard fell silent. Even the most hardened inmates watched in stunned disbelief as the human guards subdued the Travalkian with nothing but skill and precision. Later, in the control room, T-Valra reviewed the footage of the encounter. She turned to Cross, who stood by with his usual calm demeanor. "How did you do that?" she asked. Cross smiled faintly. "Humans are used to dealing with things bigger, faster, and stronger than us. We've been doing it for thousands of years." Talra frowned. "But you weren't born on a death world like the Travalkian. How do you compare?" Cross chuckled. "Warden, Earth is a death world. Every day, we deal with threats, predators, natural disasters, disease. Even our own environment tries to kill us. That's why humans don't just survive, we adapt." Grakthos grunted. "Impressive. But adaptation only goes so far. This is a prison, not a jungle." Cross's smile widened. "True. But humans have another advantage. We're not just strong or clever. We work together. And when we do, nothing can stop us." 2 months later, Blackreach faced its greatest crisis: a coordinated riot. A group of inmates led by 237 disabled the energy barriers, taking over an entire wing. Dowler watched the chaos unfold on the monitors. "Evacuate the staff," she ordered. "Wait," Cross said. The warden turned to him, incredulous. "You can't seriously think your team can stop this?" Cross met her gaze. "We can, but we'll need full control of the operation." Reluctantly, T-Valra agreed. The human guards sprang into action. They split into teams using non-lethal methods to isolate and neutralize the inmates. One team sealed off the escape routes while another used stun grenades to disorient the rioters. Cross himself confronted 237 in the central corridor. The Travalkian roared, charging with all his might. But Cross anticipated the move, using the environment to his advantage. He sidestepped, leading 237 into a trap where his teammates subdued him with specialized restraints. Within hours, the riot was over. Not a single human guard was seriously injured, and every inmate was accounted for. As the prison returned to normal, T-Valra called Cross to her office. "You've proven yourself, Captain," she said. "Humans will be a permanent part of our staff." Cross nodded. "We're glad to help, Warden." Delva studied him. "Your kind is remarkable. I once doubted the stories about humans. Now, I see why the galaxy respects and fears you." Cross smiled. "We're not here to be feared, Warden. We're here to protect." And so, the legend of humans as the galaxy's ultimate prison guards spread far and wide. Across the stars, one truth became clear: if you were dangerous enough to land in a Deathworlder prison, you'd better pray the guards weren't human.